This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So so object is nothing but a text box or you check box or anything that you want to automate a particular web application. On the web application, what all the elements that you see are called objects, and you can identify the objects called. There is a method called object identification. So object identification in Tosca can be done by four different properties. One is properties, anchor, index, and image. Okay, so when you see in the Tosca, so these are how you can see. You have to first define your username as a public string username, and this is your username, and then you do the access key, all those things. You have to write these many lines of code to just identify your object. Okay, whereas coming to UFT, here, this is how you identify your object. You have to first define what is, so flight reservation is one tool where you, if you see here, win edit is agent name. So this is a text box where you are trying to set test. Test is nothing but test is nothing but the text that you want to give inside this agent name. So this is how you identify. So you give input into your UFT. But coming into the Tosca, you just give the value there. Okay. Yeah. So now I will show you how you do it. Okay. Okay. I'll show you with one more thing called Google. Okay. Let us take this space and I want to write something on this. Okay. What I have to do, I have to go to the module section, home, and then start scan. Scan application. Whatever application you want to scan, you just have to double click on this. Let me close and reopen. Facebook. We'll try to do this. Okay. So now, what all the things I have to do to create an account? I just have to click on this. I have to write a username. I have to write a password. I have to write what is a mobile number, what is a password, and then I have to select the date and all other details. After that, I have to click on sign. Okay, so this is about save. I just save it onto my this thing and I'll just close this. If you see all the items, whatever are there, I got it. Okay. So if I have to write a test case, I can simply go, what is this phase? I'll just drag and drop this onto my this thing. And whatever inputs I have to give, I give it right. You see the drop down will be like this. So let us run this. If you see all the inputs, whatever I have given are inputted here on my page. Got it? So this is how you can scan your particular page. Okay. So before going more deeper into the scanning and all, we'll learn about different sections on the Tosca. Okay. So this is called, just give me a moment, please. Yeah, so now before going more into the modules and all identification methods, let us learn about this section. Okay, so let's start learning about this module section. So this is where we start scanning our application and we keep our technical properties. So basically, when you see modules are of two types. Okay, one is classic modules and other one is X engine modules. Okay, so X modules. So classic modules are nothing but classic attributes. So these are some of the classic attributes where you try to use for different browsers or like HTML, SAP, mobile, Java, Excel. So if you want to use like if you have used classic engines, so for that you use this X engines. For rest of them you can use X modules. Okay. So now let us understand different types of testing that you can do with Tosca engine. Okay. So yeah, I told you, right, there are two types of engines. So based on the engines only, they have created two different modules. Like classic modules refers to the classic engine. So classic engine and classic modules when we use is in a previous days, okay, whenever this Tosca has started, so at that point of time, like early phases of the Tosca, they have started using this classic engine. So there is some disadvantage with this classic engine because it takes a lot of time to load. So that is why we only use classic engines if at all, if it is necessary, and also if at all we are using this classic modules. Okay, like something like this, if you want to steer some objects from Excel or PDF or something like that, then only we use this classic engines. And coming to the T box engines, okay, T box is a second type of engine that they have. After they have seen introduced classic engines, then they started, okay, maybe we have to start some more effective engine that we can use. So that is called T-box engine. Okay, so T-box engine, it is like engine that has already framework that is developed inside it. So it depends upon the basis of X engines, okay, to steer any control. So now when you just say scan and get all these text boxes, okay, they are trying to steer this object properties onto your module. Okay, so it depends upon the definitions that Tosca has given in the backend. Okay. So there are a lot of controls you can steer with the help of X engines. Like, why we use this X engines is there is a hierarchy that is already mentioned in the framework. So if you take Selenium, right, you have to write all this framework. Okay. But here there is no need for you to write the framework. You just have to use the framework that is already developed. What is that framework we generally use? It is X engine framework. So if you see, whenever you try to scan this particular object, right, you see a tree structure that you can observe. Okay, so that is how you can understand. So this is a T-box X engine module that we are trying to create. And T-box is compatible with most of the Tosca engines uh, starting from 3.0. And it also supports database engine. It also supports that. So if you see, this is a tree structure framework that we have already. So now you're not writing any kind of framework here. You just are utilizing the engines that are already present in Tosca and getting what all the things that you want on your test case. Okay, so this is all about engines that we use in Tosca. Two types of engines mainly, classic engines and T-box engines. Okay. And coming to the modules. So based on the engines only, they have classified the modules like standard modules and user defined modules. So standard, if you see, there are some of the standard modules that are already present in Tosca. These are already given by a Tricentis. Okay. So most of the time, if you have to perform any such kind of operations, right, we can use these standard operations, standard modules. So let us dig deep dive more about the standard modules. So standard modules, one is basic window operation. Suppose if you want to take T-box screenshot, T-box clipboard, and you have to send keys. So send keys is nothing but if you want to give some input from keyboard. So then you can use this send keys module. Okay. And scroll window operation. Scroll window operation, suppose you are somewhere here and there is some element that you have to input here. So at that point of time, when on the go or when you are trying to run your test case, you just have to scroll down. So then this scroll window operation can work. T-box save as. So whenever you're trying to download something on your web UI, there is a save as, but a save as dialog that will pop up, right? So for that you can use this. And T-box dialog. All those things, these are the already inbuilt things that are already present. So you just have to use it and you have to create your test case. And coming to some more operations like timing. So T-box wait, if you want to wait for some time, this is the what you use, T-box start timer and stop timer. Suppose you want to note the execution of your test case, that how much time it is taking, you can use the start timer and stop timer module. And if you see some folder operations where you can create one folder with the help of this Tosca, you just have to mention the path here, and if anything has to be overwritten, you can write it here. And Tbox delete folder, you can delete the folder. Copy folder, you can copy the folder existence. So you can check whether that folder is present or not just by giving the path. So these are the different standard operations and standard modules that Tosca has given. In every project, you have it inbuilt in your Tosca whenever you try to download it. And then comes to the file operations. So file operations, it's like Tbox file existence, file compare. If you want to compare two files, you can give the path of first file and path of second file, the difference report output folder where it has to save. So that path also if you save, it will obviously give the details. And Tbox delete file, so where you want to delete a file. If you want to copy something from source to target, then you can also do that operation here. If you just want to read or create a file, you can do it with this help of this module. And if you want to append something on your file, you can do it. And Tbox move or rename file, if you want to rename something on your file operations, you can do it. And yes, so suppose there are some Selenium scripts on your server, okay, you want to run them, you can use the Selenium, and you can say you can use start Selenium server, and you can give the path where you have all the scripts of your server, and then it will run all the Selenium script. You have to give all these methods and test class, test methods and report directly. With the help of this, you can even run your Selenium scripts from Tosca. Okay, so these are some of the standard modules that we have. Okay, so suppose before going into the Facebook and getting something, you have to first open this URL, right? So to open this URL, you have to go to tbox X engines in HTML. There is one script called open URL. So it will help us to open the URL and then load our URL, and whatever URL, if I give this URL like www.facebook.com, something like that, then it will automatically open this URL. Okay, so whenever it is possible, whenever it is necessary, we have to try to use all the standard modules so that it will reduce our effort of creating new modules. Okay, so these are some of the standard modules that we have. And coming to the next, it is DevOps user defined modules. Okay, so user defined modules are nothing but where user will define what he needs in his test cases. So if you see the example, now I have created one user defined module for Facebook where I want to create some accounts on the Facebook page with the help of this user defined module. So what all the things that you try to develop, right, you have to put it in the user defined modules. Okay, so sorry, I forgot to tell about test data service. Test data service is nothing but basic operations. So something you have to store something from your Tosca into your TDS server. Okay, so Tosca has given us a separate server where we can perform some database actions with the help of our server. Okay, only just catching hold of our server. So whatever results that we are trying to get, we want to store it somewhere. So then Tosca has given us that probability of storing all our results into their Tosca directory server where we can perform few actions. So for that, you can use this all these modules and you can get hold of those save your things and perform all those operations, just like how you do a database operation. The same thing can be done with a text data service. Okay, but apart from this, Tosco also provides many modules for our automation. Okay, so these are the basic things that we try to do it. Okay, and what else I want to discuss? Yeah, so did you connect with my team? So by any chance, did you get any what I can say? Were you added in any of this link? Okay, so actually we do circulate all our licenses and all with the help of my team helps us in that. Did you get any chance of getting that access to that link?
Not yet, Mansa.
Okay, okay. Amit. So then, yeah, actually, I have to start with the next session. So next, if we have to start, I want everyone to have Tosca in your machine so that I can go ahead because this is all about theory that I have in my mind. Rest all should be done. We have to do it simultaneously. Okay. So, but I'll tell few more concepts and then we can close today's call. And by next class, I'll request my team to give access to your common folder. And in the next class, we'll start our Tosca installation and then we move it. Okay. So let me scan. Okay. Where's my okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a scan window. Okay, so we'll learn something about the scan window. If you see, there are different identification methods like properties, anchor, image, and index. We'll see all of this once we start Tosca. After we complete our Tosca installation, I'll explain you how to identify by properties, anchor, image, and index. Apart from this, there is one more method you can also identify it. We will also see. So suppose I have identified something on my screen here. Okay. So I don't know something, I want to highlight it. So I want to know which one. So the name is not one-to-one mapping, it's something else. I want to see which one it is. So what I can do is I can just click on highlight selection. So it will help us to identify which element that we have identified. Okay. And finish screen is just if you have to move to the next screen scan, then you have to do finish screen. There are two things. Now whatever you are seeing is an advanced view. So whenever you start with your scan, you see a basic scan. So this is how a basic scan will look. You can simply go ahead and just grab all the things, whatever you want. Okay. Basic scan is like this. You cannot see anything. If you want to have a condensed, you can see condensed. So this is how a condensed scan will be. And let us go to the basic and we'll see. So in basic, you cannot see more options. Only these are the options you see. But whenever you go to the advanced, you see all different identification methods and self-healing properties. We will try not to use this for now, but in later stages, once you get hold of this Tosca easily, then we can go ahead for self-healing properties. And if you see, there are filtered items here. So here, if you just move this ahead, you can see a tree structure. Okay. So if you want to have this tree structure known, so you want to know what is above my first name. So when you just drag it to the right, you can see what all the things are there onto the top. So when you come this, so generally how developers develop is, so first they might make a big, so this might be a page. Inside a page, they'll divide. Okay, this is left pane section. This is a right pane section. Sorry, middle section, and this might be a right pane section. Okay. Inside this, they again divide. Okay, header, footer. Okay, again in header and footer, again you have left pane, right. Okay. Here also they again create one text box, another text box. Like this they'll create. So if you have to identify it, if sometimes I told you that there are 4 identification properties. You cannot have it with one identification. Then this division will help you. Knowing this division will help you understand how to identify it more uniquely. Okay. So that is how this tree structure you can see. So if I drag it to the tree, if you see all. So now if you see my first name is somewhere inside first name, first name, first name, first name, first name. Okay. So this is a tree structure what developer has developed like this, and my text box is inside something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 boxes division. Answer inside this is my first name. So this you will understand when you get more knowledge about identification properties. Just understand you can try to filter your items just by moving here and there. So if you see, this is what I have tried identifying. When I go to the last section, I see the full path of what my web page is about. Okay. And yes. So suppose you're not trying to fetch something, you can just say, okay, I want password. So it will help us in searching this particular thing. Okay. And this show content preview, you can understand when I'm explaining about tables. And filter, you can filter if you want only this button, you can say button and say. So all the buttons will come here, and visibility also you can check. So based on different properties, you can just filter it out. And once you are done, you just have to close this application, and then if you want to select a new application, you just have to select a new application and you can go ahead with a new application. Okay. So this is all about scanning, I mean, how to scan your modules and all. Identification methods and things we'll learn in the next class. Okay. So we'll make sure in the next class you'll get all the tools, everything ready, and uh, we can go ahead with Tosca installation and then identification properties, and then you can start creating your test cases. Okay. If you have any questions and queries, I can take it up for next 5 minutes. Otherwise, we can close this today's call. Any questions, any queries here?
So in the modules, as you said, we have two modules, right? Standard and user defined. So basically,
Yeah.
we cannot do or edit the standard modules, right? We will only work on the user defined modules. Is that correct?
Uh, no, we use standard modules also. When you start creating your test case set, you will understand how you can use standard modules, how you can use user-defined modules.
Okay, so we will use it, right? Okay, yeah,
Yeah, we will
makes
use it.
sense.
We have to use it.
Okay, and this different type of four identification also we will go through all of those, right? By properties,
Yeah, all
enter in
four
user.
identification methods. Yes, we will go through.
Okay,
That is what I want the tool to be installed in everything. If I keep on telling that, you will not get an understanding how it goes. So if you do it simultaneously with me, you can understand few concepts here.
so basically we will first work on the modules and then test cases and then the execution, right? That's the basic
Correct.
Tosca.
Yes. Yeah, that is what
Okay,
the basic thing.
okay. Thank you, Mansi.
Okay. No problem. Okay, all right then. If you have no questions, we can wind up this today's call.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice day.